Have you ever found yourself completely overwhelmed by stress, anger, or frustration? It feels like the world is against you, and no matter what you do, you can't escape the chaos inside your mind. But what if I told you there's a way to completely change this? To train your mind to stay calm no matter what life throws at you. In fact, what if you could unlock a level of inner peace so powerful that nothing could shake you? Stay with me, because today we're diving into how you can train your mind to stay calm in any situation and unlock that inner peace you've been craving, using powerful Stoic principles and even some psychological tools that will change the way you approach every challenge. Welcome to Stoic Spark, where we turn philosophy into power. Number 1. The power of calm. Calm is not just a feeling, it's a superpower. In today's world, where chaos and uncertainty are around every corner, being calm might just be the most valuable asset you can have. Imagine this. You're faced with a crisis. Everything seems to be falling apart, but you're able to respond with clarity, not panic. You can think clearly, make decisions without the weight of emotions clouding your judgment, and take action that leads to real progress. This is the power of calm, and it's not some wishy-washy idea or a temporary feeling. It's a state of mind that you can train yourself to enter again and again, no matter what life throws at you. The Stoics believed that true strength comes from mastering your mind and emotions, not being at the mercy of them. Imagine unlocking that kind of control over your life. Doesn't it sound powerful? Pause for effect. If you want to take the first step toward this kind of strength, hit the like button and comment below with, "I am in control. Let's make this journey together." Number 2. Understanding emotions. Let's face it, emotions are incredibly powerful. They shape how we perceive the world, influence our actions, and often dictate how we interact with others. How many times have you found yourself reacting impulsively to a situation only to regret it later? It could be anger, frustration, fear, or anxiety. We've all been there. Emotions have a way of sneaking up on us and taking control, sometimes without us even realizing it. But here's the catch. Emotions themselves are not inherently bad. In fact, they can be useful signals. But the problem arises when we allow them to control us rather than the other way around. What if you could understand your emotions in a way that allowed you to make decisions from a place of calm instead of letting them dictate your actions? This is where Stoicism offers profound insight. The Stoics understood that emotions are a natural part of being human. But what they also knew was that it's not the emotions themselves that control us. It's our judgment of those emotions. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." What does that mean? It means that emotions are not the problem. How we interpret and respond to them is what matters. Take anger, for example. You might feel angry when someone cuts you off in traffic. But does that anger actually serve you? Does it make you a better person? Or does it just fuel stress and frustration, affecting your health and relationships? The Stoic approach is not to suppress emotions or pretend they don't exist, but to pause, observe, and choose how to respond. It's about breaking free from the automatic reactions that govern our lives. By training your mind to pause and reflect, you can change your perspective on any situation. Instead of reacting in anger, you might respond with patience. Instead of stress, you might find peace. Here's where the power lies. You're not a passive observer in your own life. You are the one who decides how to respond to what's happening, and this is the key to regaining control over your emotions and ultimately unlocking inner peace. Think about it. How often do we get upset over things that are entirely out of our control? Someone yells at you, You miss a deadline, you face criticism. These are external events. Stoicism teaches us that we only have power over how we perceive and react to these events, not the events themselves. And that's a game changer. You can train yourself to respond calmly, to choose your emotions, and to not be swept away by the uncontrollable tide of reactions. Emotions, when understood properly, can actually become allies in your pursuit of inner peace. If you believe this can make a difference in your life, I want you to do something simple. Like this video and comment below with "I control my reactions." Let's start this journey together, controlling our minds and shaping our futures. Number 3, the role of perception. Now, let's talk about perception. It's something we rarely think about, but perception has the power to shape everything in our lives. How we view a situation directly influences how we feel about it and how we react. The problem is, we often don't realize how much control we have over our perception. You see, Stoicism teaches us that our mind is the lens through which we view the world. Think about the last time you faced a stressful situation. Did you see it as a challenge to overcome, or did you see it as a problem that was beyond your control? The difference between those two perceptions is profound. The Stoics believed that what happens to us is not nearly as important as how we choose to interpret it. We have the ability to change the way we see the world, and in doing so, change the way the world impacts us. Epictetus, another great Stoic, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is the core of Stoic philosophy, the idea that we are responsible not for the events themselves, but for how we choose to perceive them. Think of your mind as a filter. If you filter everything through a lens of negativity, fear, or anger, that's what you'll see. Everything will seem like an obstacle or a threat. But if you train yourself to filter the same situations through a lens of calm, opportunity, and control, you'll experience a much different reality. The world doesn't change. It's your perception of it that does. For example, let's say you're facing a tough situation at work. You could perceive it as a major setback, something that's out of your control. You could feel anxious, defeated, and powerless. Or you could perceive the same situation as an opportunity to demonstrate your resilience, a chance to grow stronger, or simply a challenge that will pass in time. By choosing to see the situation from a different angle, you shift its power over you. This doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending everything is fine when it's not. It means consciously choosing how you interpret what's happening around you. It's about controlling your mind, and in doing so, regaining control over how you respond. Stoicism teaches us that the world is full of challenges, but it's not the challenges that should define us. It's our perception of them. When we change the way we look at the world begins to change for us. If this idea resonates with you, hit the like button and comment, "I see with clarity." Let's continue to master our perceptions and unlock inner peace together. Number 4, developing mental resilience. Now, let's dive into something critical: mental resilience. This is the ability to remain strong, focused, and calm in the face of adversity. It's the foundation of Stoic philosophy and a key to unlocking lasting inner peace. But mental resilience is not something you're born with. It's something you build. Imagine a storm hitting a tree. The tree bends with the wind, but it doesn't break. It endures. That's resilience. And just like that tree, you can train your mind to bend, but not break, to withstand the forces of stress, frustration, and life's inevitable challenges. The Stoics had a powerful way of looking at resilience. They didn't view adversity as something to avoid. They saw it as an opportunity to grow stronger. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that every obstacle you face is actually a chance to improve yourself. Now, I want you to think about the last time you faced a difficult situation. Did you let it defeat you, or did you rise to the occasion? The Stoic mindset doesn't just accept difficulty, it actively seeks it out. By facing challenges head-on, we train ourselves to be stronger and more capable. Resilience isn't about avoiding pain or discomfort, it's about learning how to endure it. The more we expose ourselves to discomfort, the better equipped we become to handle the next challenge. It's about developing mental toughness, the ability to handle stress without letting it take control. Just like building muscle in the gym, mental resilience is built through consistent practice. So, how do you develop this kind of resilience? First, you start by embracing discomfort. Next time you face a challenge, don't shy away from it. Step into it, face it, and recognize it for what it is, an opportunity to strengthen your mind. Remember, every struggle you face is an opportunity to become the person you want to be. And when you do this, something incredible happens. You start to realize that you're capable of so much more than you ever thought possible. Your strength grows, and so does your inner peace. Life no longer has control over you. You have control over life. If you're ready to build that resilience, hit the like button and comment, "I embrace the challenge." Together, we can face any adversity with calmness and strength. Number 5, the dichotomy of control. Now let's talk about one of the most powerful Stoic concepts, the dichotomy of control. This idea is simple, yet it has the power to completely transform the way you approach life. In its most basic form, the dichotomy of control teaches us to focus only on what we can control and to let go of everything else. It sounds simple, but think about how often we waste our energy on things beyond our control. We stress over things like other people's actions, the weather, or situations that we have no influence over. But in reality, these are things that we can't change. And here's the catch. All of that wasted energy, it only harms us, not the situations we're worrying about. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, put it perfectly when he said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not. The things that are up to us are our actions, our thoughts, our judgments, and our responses. Everything else, the actions of others, the weather, the economy, the traffic, these are outside of our control." Yet how many times have we spent hours or even days stressing over things we can't change? The Stoics teach us that by understanding and accepting this, we can stop wasting our energy and focus on what truly matters, our own actions and thoughts. When we focus only on the things we can control, we regain power over our lives. This doesn't mean ignoring external circumstances. It means recognizing them for what they are and choosing not to let them dictate how we feel or act. Think about it. If you get stuck in traffic, you can't change the traffic, but you can change your reaction to it. You can choose to stay calm, make the best use of your time, and accept the situation as it is. When you focus on your reaction, you take back control. You stop letting the external world control your emotions and mindset. The beauty of this principle is that when you fully embrace it, everything becomes easier. You no longer waste time or energy fighting things outside of your control. You learn to invest your energy in things that actually matter, your own peace, your own strength, and your own growth. So the next time life throws you a curveball, ask yourself, can I control this? If not, it's not worth my energy. Focus on your own actions and mind, and you'll find that your sense of calm and peace will grow exponentially. If this resonates with you, like the video and comment, "I focus on what I can control." Let's keep taking control of our minds and our lives. Number 6, the power of acceptance. Now, let's dive into the power of acceptance, a core Stoic principle that can radically transform how you experience life. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or resigning yourself to a life of mediocrity. It means recognizing reality as it is, rather than how we wish it would be. And when we accept things as they are, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. Think about it. So often, we get frustrated with situations that are simply out of our control. We fight against reality, wishing things were different. Maybe you're upset about a tough situation at work, or angry that things aren't going your way in life. But what if I told you that fighting against reality is actually what causes the pain, not the situation itself? The Stoics believed that true peace comes not from avoiding discomfort, but from accepting the present moment exactly as it is. Marcus Aurelius said, "Accept whatever comes to you, woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs?" This means that by accepting what life presents to you, good or bad, you open the door to peace. Now, acceptance doesn't mean passivity. It doesn't mean letting everything slide without action. It simply means recognizing what you cannot change and using your energy wisely on what you can change. When you fully accept a situation for what it is, you stop fighting with it. You stop draining yourself with resistance. Instead, you focus on your response, and that's where your power lies. Imagine a river that's flowing rapidly. You can fight against the current, exhausting yourself, or you can surrender to the flow and steer yourself in the direction that's best for you. Acceptance allows you to stop fighting against the current and start moving with it. It's not about giving up, it's about choosing peace over struggle. This principle also teaches us to accept ourselves as we are, flaws and all. So many of us are constantly striving for perfection, comparing ourselves to others, or trying to be something we're not. But the Stoics taught that peace comes when we accept our own nature. You are enough as you are. You are capable of growth, but only when you stop fighting against the reality of who you are right now. By embracing acceptance, you gain the freedom to act from a place of peace and clarity, rather than frustration and resistance. This is how you unlock true inner peace. If this idea resonates with you, like the video and comment, "I accept what I cannot change." Let's continue to practice acceptance and unlock the peace that comes with it. Number 7. Harnessing dark psychology for control. Now, this may sound surprising, but let's explore an unexpected tool for mastering your mind: dark psychology. Before you jump to conclusions, let me clarify. Dark psychology isn't about manipulating others, it's about manipulating yourself. It's about understanding the psychological principles that govern human behavior and using them to maintain control over your thoughts, emotions, and actions. You see, throughout life, we're constantly subjected to the influence of others, whether it's societal expectations, manipulative people, or even the constant barrage of media messages telling us who we should be or how we should feel. But the real power doesn't come from changing the world around us. It comes from changing how we interact with the world. And this is where dark psychology intersects with Stoicism. In the realm of dark psychology, one of the most powerful principles is emotional detachment. This concept is rooted in the idea that emotions, while they are a natural and necessary part of being human, should never control your actions. So often in life, people will use your emotions to manipulate you. They'll invoke your fear, guilt, or anger to get you to act in ways that serve their interests, not yours. Think about it. Have you ever found yourself reacting to something only to realize later that you were played? Maybe someone used guilt to get you to do something for them, or maybe a situation triggered intense anger that led you to make a hasty decision. This is exactly where the power of emotional detachment comes in. Instead of letting your emotions control you, you take a step back, you pause, and you recognize that you have control over how you respond. Stoicism teaches us this same lesson, but in a more profound way. The Stoics believed that we should not be slaves to our emotions. Instead of reacting impulsively, they taught us to observe our emotions, acknowledge them, but not to act upon them immediately. This is the core of emotional control, not to suppress emotions, but to own them and choose our response consciously. This is where dark psychology aligns with Stoic philosophy, the understanding that we can use emotional awareness and detachment to regain power. But it doesn't stop there. Another key principle in dark psychology is the concept of controlling the narrative. In life, we're constantly influenced by the opinions and judgments of others. Society tells us who we should be, how we should act, and even what we should desire. People around us try to define our value, our worth, and our identity. They often want us to behave in ways that fit their needs, not ours. The Stoics, however, teach us that we are the authors of our own story. We are the ones who decide who we are, what we believe, and how we act. This is one of the most liberating realizations you can have. When you fully embrace this, you stop letting others define your reality. Instead of being a passive observer in your life, you become an active participant, constantly shaping your thoughts, behaviors, and decisions according to your true self, not the image others want to project onto you. Think about this. How often do you allow others' opinions or societal pressures to influence your decisions? How often do you feel pressured into conforming to an image or a role that isn't truly you? Dark psychology teaches you to recognize these influences and choose whether or not you will let them shape your reality. Stoicism, too, teaches you to accept that while you cannot control how others perceive you, you can control how you respond to those perceptions. When you combine the power of Stoic philosophy with the principles of dark psychology, you gain a powerful toolkit for self-mastery. You become aware of the psychological tactics people use to influence you, and you learn not to be swayed by them. You start to regain your mental autonomy. No longer will you be a pawn in someone else's game. Instead, you take charge of your own mind, and in doing so, you unlock a level of inner peace and strength that others can only dream of. And here's the beautiful part. When you practice emotional detachment and control the narrative of your life, you free yourself from unnecessary drama, stress, and conflict. You stop reacting emotionally to situations, and instead you respond with calmness, clarity, and purpose. No one, no situation, no comment, no criticism can shake your inner peace because you've taken back control. So how do you start using dark psychology and Stoicism together? Begin by observing your emotional responses. When you feel yourself getting angry, anxious, or upset, pause and ask yourself, is this emotion serving me, or is it controlling me? Then, detach from it. Recognize that your emotional reactions are just that, reactions, not commands. You have the power to choose your response. And when it comes to controlling the narrative, begin by recognizing when you're being influenced by external pressures. Step back, evaluate the situation, and ask yourself, am I living for me, or am I living for others? Start shaping your life according to your own values, and watch as your peace of mind grows stronger. If this resonates with you, like the video and comment, I take control. Let's continue mastering our minds and not letting anyone or anything take away our peace. Number 8. Practical tips to train your mind. All right, we've covered the theory behind Stoicism and dark psychology, but now it's time for action. Let's talk about practical steps you can take today to train your mind to stay calm in any situation and unlock that inner peace. Because while philosophy and psychology are powerful, they only become meaningful when we put them into practice. First, let's start with mindful breathing. This is a simple technique that you can use anytime, anywhere. When you feel stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed, take a moment to focus on your breath. Inhale deeply through your nose for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, and then exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6. Repeat this process for a few minutes. Why does this work? It's because mindful breathing activates your body's parasympathetic nervous system, which calms the fight or flight response. When you breathe deeply and slowly, you interrupt the cycle of anxiety and stress, allowing your mind to reset. This is a quick and effective way to regain control of your emotions in any situation. Next, let's talk about negative visualization, a powerful Stoic practice. The Stoics regularly practiced imagining the worst-case scenario, not to dwell in negativity, but to prepare themselves for any potential challenge. By visualizing the worst outcome, they removed the fear and anxiety surrounding it, and they were able to accept whatever came their way. For example, imagine losing your job. Instead of fearing the worst, visualize the process. What would you do? How would you react? What steps would you take to rebuild? By visualizing the challenge and planning your response, you reduce the emotional weight of uncertainty. You take back control by accepting the worst and then focusing on how to move forward. Now, let's incorporate the dichotomy of control we discussed earlier. Every time you face a stressful situation, ask yourself, is this something I can control? If it is, take action. If it's not, let it go. Stop wasting energy on things that don't serve you. This simple question can instantly reduce stress because it reminds you that your only responsibility is how you choose to respond. Another practical tip is to journaling. And no, it's not just about writing down what happened during your day. The Stoics were avid journalers because it allowed them to reflect on their thoughts and actions. They wrote down their challenges, their reactions, and how they could improve the next day. By journaling, you create a space for self-reflection and self-improvement. You can process emotions, gain perspective, and actively work on becoming more calm, resilient, and self-aware. One more technique that has been incredibly helpful in my own life is setting intentions for the day. Before you start your day, take 5 minutes to reflect on your goals and intentions. What kind of person do you want to be today? How do you want to react to challenges? By setting clear intentions, you consciously prepare your mind to handle whatever comes your way with calmness and poise. You start your day with purpose rather than letting the world dictate your reactions. And lastly, embrace discomfort. This might sound counterintuitive, but the Stoics taught that growth happens when we step out of our comfort zones. Whether it's physical discomfort, emotional discomfort, or mental challenges. When you face discomfort head-on, you train your mind to handle adversity. The more you expose yourself to discomfort, the less power it has over you. You start to realize that discomfort is just a temporary feeling. It doesn't have to control you. So let's recap. Start with mindful breathing to calm your body and mind. Use negative visualization to reduce anxiety about the unknown. Practice the dichotomy of control by focusing on what you can change. Journaling allows you to reflect and grow. Set daily intentions to stay aligned with your calm, resilient self. And of course, embrace discomfort as a way to build your mental strength. If you're ready to start applying these techniques and train your mind to stay calm in any situation, like this video and comment, "I'm taking action." Let's make sure we're all actively working toward unlocking inner peace and strength. Now that you've learned the principles, the strategies, and the tools to train your mind and unlock inner peace, it's time to take action. All the knowledge in the world is useless unless you put it into practice. And trust me, when you start applying these Stoic techniques and principles in your daily life, you will notice a massive shift. You'll start feeling less stressed, less reactive, and more in control. You'll find yourself handling tough situations with a calm mind, making clearer decisions and taking decisive action without being ruled by emotion. And over time, this peace will become a permanent part of who you are. Your mindset will shift from one of constant chaos to one of steady, unwavering calm. Remember, peace is not something you find in the world around you. It's something you create within yourself. It's not about avoiding challenges or suppressing emotions. It's about choosing how to respond and mastering your mind. The journey of self-mastery is ongoing, but every small step you take brings you closer to becoming the strongest, most peaceful version of yourself. So, if you've found value in this video, I want you to do 3 things. First, like the video so we know this message is resonating with you. Second, comment below with the phrase "I am in control" to commit to this path of self-mastery and inner peace. And finally, don't forget to subscribe to Stoic Spark and turn on notifications, because we'll continue to dive deep into Stoic wisdom and practical strategies that will help you build strength and peace. Thank you for watching, and remember, train your mind, embrace the calm, and nothing will stand in your way. I'll see you in the next video.